Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are immersing ourselves in this huge shift happening in global learning. Our sources are actually calling this the age of magic.
Right, and it sounds dramatic, but the magic is really AI. It's suddenly making the very best educational stuff, top university lectures, the finished curriculum concepts, basically free globally.
Yeah, for anyone online.
Exactly, and it's not just like wider access, it completely redefines value. Scarcity, gone. So our mission today is to really unpack what this means for you, the learner. What we're seeing is this shift, it's almost mandated, away from just getting a degree.
The diploma being the end goal.
Right, to a model that's truly skill-centric, where what you can do, verifiable capability, that's the real currency now.
And the big obstacle,
Right.
well, it's this centuries-old system, isn't it? Legacy education,
Mhm.
the traditional setup. Knowledge in silos, separate subjects, pushing rote learning.
Admonishing questions.
Yeah, actively discouraging questioning. It's a system built to reward pure memory, right?
Mhm.
High marks just for spitting back answers to remember, recall questions, not for real understanding or application.
It's basically medieval, designed for an industrial age when information was hard to get, hard to share. But we need a new direction, a new philosophy. We kept coming back to Sir Ken Robinson's ideas, his 4 basic purposes for education.
What were those again?
He argued the goals have to be helping students really engage with the world, both internal and external, understanding cultures, respecting diversity, becoming economically responsible,
Okay.
and crucially, becoming active, compassionate citizens, global citizens.
That's a pretty big mandate.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into this shift from just knowing stuff to actually having skills. Section 1 in our research, it really focuses on the essential skills needed right now in this AI era.
Yeah, and it's clear students today feel academically ready, not just because they know facts. It's about having digital skills, critical thinking.
And the confidence, right, to actually go out and tackle real problems.
Exactly. The market, well, it's already decided. Look at the World Economic Forum, their projections for the next decade. The skills needed are so different.
What's top of the list?
Analytical thinking, creative thinking, curiosity, lifelong learning, resilience. Those are huge. And right there with them, AI literacy. Being able to handle, assess, and use huge amounts of information creatively, that's more vital than just memorizing the information itself now.
Which points away from the old single subject degree, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that leads right into this idea of the generalist becoming more important.
Yes. We found some fascinating advice, like from Vinod Khosla. He basically tells every 20-year-old, aim to be a generalist, not a specialist.
So people are doing that, like layered learning, dual degrees.
Precisely. Walking between 2 worlds, 2 specializations. That creates what people call the T-shaped skill set, or polymath.
Okay, T-shaped. Explain that.
You still need depth. That's the vertical bar of the T. Deep knowledge in one area. But the key difference is the horizontal bar, breadth, across different fields. These learners, they become cross-pollinators. They can take, say, an AI output from engineering
Right.
and mix it creatively with one from, sustainability.
Right.
To solve a problem a narrow specialist wouldn't even see.
That ability to synthesize, that's the key. And, if you need a reason to ditch the old cram and regurgitate method, Steve Levitt and Ben Gomes nailed it. With knowledge just a click away, there's simply no need to cram the head with facts, memorize, and regurgitate. Why bother?
It totally shifts the purpose of learning. It's not about hoarding facts anymore. It's about applying knowledge. And the only reason this massive shift is even possible is technology, which brings us neatly to Section 2. How tech is reshaping the classroom.
This is where it gets really tangible, the magic. We're talking specialized knowledge, instantly available. Tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Conmigo, Perplexity AI.
It's a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. And it means unlimited, high-quality knowledge tailored exactly to a student's pace and interests. The one-size-fits-all lecture, it's obsolete.
Think about the learning materials themselves. Google's Learn Your Way platform. It's a prime example. They use generative AI to take a standard static textbook. And boom, it becomes this augmented, living thing. Immersive content, quizzes made just for you, mind maps generated on the fly.
Interactive narration even.
Yeah. AI can make history come alive, Show, don't just tell. Or VR making biology tangible. Learning becomes an experience, not just passive reception.
And the biggest implication of all this tech fluency, the walls between subjects are just crumbling.
Totally permeable.
Look at Venki Ramakrishnan, the Nobel laureate, PhD in physics, moves to biology, wins the Nobel in chemistry for ribosome work.
Incredible story. And his discovery was only possible because his background was so fluid, so multidisciplinary.
His path is basically the blueprint now, isn't it?
It really underscores that skills have to be fluid. Universities are finally catching on. We're seeing plans globally for mandatory AI fluency courses, some starting as early as 2025.
Why so soon?
It's purely pragmatic. They want graduates in, say, 2029 to be fluent in using large language models from day one, because that's how they'll be coding, researching, working. It's a fundamental literacy now.
Okay, so if AI handles content delivery, personalization, what's left for the human teacher? What's her indispensable role? Section 3 tackles exactly that.
Right, the teacher's role has to shift dramatically, away from being the sage on the stage, the lecturer.
It being what?
A personalized learning facilitator, a guide, more high-touch mentorship. Teachers guiding students through self-paced work, tweaking instruction based on real-time needs, focusing on the human stuff. Connection, creativity, critical application. AI just handles the grunt work.
And the want to break down how AI helps the teacher, right? 3 main ways.
Yep. First, automating the routine stuff. Grading multiple choice paperwork that frees up so much time for actual mentoring one-on-one connection.
Makes sense.
Second, AI offers these incredible data insights. Teachers aren't guessing anymore. They see heat maps, engagement records, timestamps, spotting patterns, flagging if a student's disengaging, like right away.
But hang on, if AI automates grading, does that mean teachers now need to be data analysts? Isn't that just swapping one kind of work for another?
That's a really fair point. The tools change, but the work is still demanding. However, the third way AI helps is by enhancing lesson delivery. Teachers can create much more dynamic, engaging content way faster. So the teacher who embraces these tools uses the analytics to connect better. That's the teacher who thrives.
Okay, so what about the student? What's their responsibility in this AI age? People like Jaspreet Bindra have advice on this.
They do. First, students must invest in AI literacy, and that includes learning the logic of coding, the fundamentals. Second, they need to master effective prompting.
Prompting. It sounds simple, just typing in a question, but it's not, is it?
Not at all. Effective prompting. It requires deep knowledge, creativity, and surprisingly, those legacy language skills. Grammar, literature, critical thinking.
Wait, why grammar and literature? How do they suddenly tech skills?
Because the AI's output quality directly mirrors the prompt's quality. Specificity, nuance, it all matters.
Yeah.
If you can frame a complex problem with sophisticated grammar, high-level concepts, the AI output is exponentially better. Vague input, poor grammar, you get garbage. So yeah, the old arts rhetoric, precise communication, they're essential technical skills now.
Wow, okay. And Bindra's third point for students.
Become an entrepreneur. He calls it the age of one-person unicorns.
Meaning?
Meaning one person armed with maybe 1,000 AI agents can build and launch a successful startup. With entry-level jobs potentially disappearing, the safest path might be becoming a builder, an innovator yourself.
The speed and capability are just mind-boggling. But education can't just be about startups, right? It has to connect to the real world, to global issues. Which brings us to our next section.
Exactly. We're living in what people call a polycrisis. Climate change, geopolitical tensions, social inequality, they're all interconnected and accelerating. This demands a holistic educational approach, moving away from memory tests towards nurturing explicitly global critical thinking.
That acceleration is why teaching in silos just won't work. Climate solutions need chemistry, economics, policy, all mixed together. And the main tool for that, according to our sources, seems to be project-based learning, PBL.
Yes, PBL is crucial. It means students spend real time collaborating, working on a project that tackles a genuine real-world problem or a complex question. It's the opposite of a final exam. And the data shows it works, boosts engagement, collaboration skills, long-term learning.
So this is a total curriculum overhaul, mandatory collaboration even.
Yes, and mandatory links between universities and industry. Every institution should have at least one formal industry partnership baked into its programs. And importantly, holding institutions accountable, not just for degrees, but for placements, for real-world outcomes. That's why you see this push for mandatory idea labs, tinker labs.
Making innovation part of the core structure.
Right, and connecting it globally. It means integrating global challenges directly. We see Asian universities embedding the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, into their core through community projects. But the climate crisis, that needs personal action, too.
Oh, absolutely. The economic forecasts are staggering. Climate impacts costing the global economy, what, $23 trillion a year by 2050? It's not abstract. It's immediate. It demands specific climate change education. I was really struck by Professor Chetan Singh Solanki, the solar man. resigning from IIT Bombay to start the Finite Earth movement, pushing for behavioral change with his 2P habits.
Those 2P habits: travel less, use wisely, purchase cautiously, eat carefully, eliminate electricity waste. They're a perfect example. Translating huge global threats into personal, actionable steps. It's this focus on critical consciousness, on empathy, that builds real global citizenship, preparing learners to tackle disinformation, conflict, inequality.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's look at Section 5, Insights from the Vanguard. What are the tech leaders, the people building this AI future, actually teaching their own kids?
The patterns are really consistent, and it's all about skills AI can't do. Look at Elon Musk's Astronova School. No grades. Focus purely on debates, experiments, problems with no single right answer. It's about the process of discovery.
And Mark Andreessen.
He emphasizes teaching first principles thinking, breaking any idea down to its absolute core elements. You can't just ask an AI to do that deep analysis for you.
Makes sense.
And the open AI leaders, they focus on critical thinking and empathy, the two things they believe AI cannot fake, which loops back to Sam Altman's advice. The survivor, the successful person, will be the one who adapts the fastest. Adaptability is the meta skill.
Adapting fast. That feels critical, especially considering Ilya Sutskever's prediction, the co-inventor of the neural net.
Yeah, quite provocative. He predicts AI will do 100% of the work that humans can do within a few years.
That's a lot to take in.
It is. But his logic is chillingly simple. The brain is a biological computer. So he figures a digital computer can eventually do the same things if he's even partially right. How does that change the job market for graduates now? It basically removes the learning curve, right? It ramps up the pressure for entrepreneurial action immediately.
Exactly. It makes students need to be future-proof right out of the gate. If AI takes those entry-level jobs, the first rung on the ladder, then students need to leave education already knowing how to identify a problem, maybe file a patent, create a viable product. It really is adapt or get automated.
Yeah. Synthesizing all this, what really stands out is the sheer urgency. Education has to ditch that medieval outlook fast. The focus has to be relentless. Technical skills, communication, collaboration, critical thinking. We're heading towards a world where creating value, public good, sustainable profit through applied knowledge is the only measure, not the degree certificate.
But as we talk about this amazing potential, this age of magic, we have to face the fact that not everyone have access. The digital divide, it's the massive elephant in the room, isn't it? The ultimate barrier to making this equitable.
The numbers are just astronomical. Closing that gap by 2030, estimated cost $2.8 trillion USD globally. And most of that cost, it's basic infrastructure, fiber optic cables, connectivity for remote areas. The promise of free education online means nothing if you can't actually get online.
So that leaves us with a final thought, something for you to consider. We've mapped out the necessary changes in teaching and learning philosophy, but maybe the biggest challenge isn't changing the schools, it's changing the physical infrastructure of the planet. How does the world ensure everyone gets fair access to this powerful age of magic when the entry tickets still cost trillions? We'll have to dive into the global implications of that next time.